Hello everyone. Welcome back to Soul Talk Energy Insight. This one's for July 28th to August 4th. I cannot believe that we are going into August already. Oh my goodness. August August is going to be amazing. If you have not watched my monthly energy insight for August yet, the link is down below, and I have it in the Aligned app for members and non-members. So you're welcome to watch it there, or check it out on my YouTube channel, and social media shares. I will say this, I will preface this, is that the beginning part of August may be uncomfortable for people. I will say that. The beginning part of August will feel really uncomfortable for people. There will be some things that will shake some ground in people's lives. But it is done because we are building a legacy. And I will explain a little bit more of how we're building that legacy in this video, so stay tuned. Before I get there, Archangel Metatron would like to say a few words, and then I'll get into how the new moon helps us through a heart-centered space, and then I'll get into the messages that I was given to share with you all. Okay. Archangel Metatron, for those of you that have not seen this video before, Archangel Metatron, and don't know who Archangel Metatron is. He was Enoch in the Bible. When he had his time on Earth, he was Enoch. Every other time, he is Archangel Metatron. So, I actually use, for these readings, I use Amanda Ellis's Oracle cards. Archangel Metatron Oracle cards. They're amazing. They're very aligned with the messages that Archangel Metatron provides. I have a direct relationship when I channel Archangel Metatron, but I find that these cards are very easy to use. These cards are very beautiful. The artwork is amazing. And they're beautiful. And they're an easy way to actually tap into the messages that your intuition or your soul want you to receive to make life less bumpy. So, Archangel Metatron, I'm calling on you, please, to guide us and help us in some way for the week of the new moon, July 28th to August 4th. What would you like to share with us to help us through this time? Movement needed. Action. 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 Okay, I know what I would take that as, but I'm just going to confirm. They have they have a book. She has a book that with channeled messages that relate to each card. So, Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so lots of times when we are entering into the new moon, you got to remember that we're coming from our upper chakras, which is our domain for our big vision for our life, how we see ourselves in our part of the world, how we see ourselves within our community, how we see ourselves as individual as well as part of a group, part of a family, part of friendship group, part of a peers that we work with, um, all those complexities. And we may have received inspired thoughts about our life, about our future going forward. Those are our soul's inspired thoughts, are our soul's way of saying there's more for you. There's more for you going forward. But what we need to do is we need to take action in some way in order to make those things happen, to make those things possible. And so now those inspired thoughts, we get to receive inspired actions to how to make those possible. And we get to actually do those actions. So if that means that we need to show up in our life a certain way, different than what we have been, then that's what we get to do. Those are the actions that we get to take. If we are being inspired to or asked to heal something emotionally, that is an inspired action that we get to step into and do the hard thing that allows us to cleanse those emotions, cleanse those traumas, cleanse those old ways of thinking so that we can actually free ourselves from that pain. Inspired action is there for us to help us move forward and to build a legacy. So if you receive an inspired thought to help you step into the next part of your life, whether that be applying for a job that catches your eye, that catches your interest, or spending some creative time drawing nature, or spending some time painting, and you haven't done that for a long time, there's a reason why you need to do it. The reason why you get to do it is because it will reignite some creative joy for you. If the inspired action is for you to pause and create space for yourself so that you can explore this trigger that you have been experiencing, then do that. If the inspired action is to face these hard moments and allow yourself to feel what you haven't wanted to allow yourself to do, if your inspired action in those moments is to break the resistance, let go of the resistance. It's much easier to consciously go, you know what, I'm in resistance, I'm just going to let this go so I can see what's possible for me. The whole term energetically breaking free of resistance is you like pulling against that resistance until it snaps. And that really wasn't done in a consciously in agreement. If you're breaking free of it, or if you're breaking through the resistance, you're doing it in a way that energetically you're not consciously in agreement with doing it. And you're going to find yourself back in that loop in some way. But if you face, okay, I feel like I'm in resistance right now, and you face that resistance, and you understand why you're in that resistance, and you allow yourself to be in agreement and let it go, you can now turn back and like freely walk forward in a healing way. Whatever thoughts, whatever inspired thoughts are coming through, they're to help you with the next inspired action that you were to take. And if you aren't sure how that inspired thought is what's needed to get there, go within and ask what the inspired action is. And you will be shown in some way. You'll be shown, you get another thought, you'll get a nudge. Someone will come into your life in some way that will like ask you to do something, and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's it. That's the missing piece. Trust that you will receive that inspired action. And then follow it. Do it. You are building a legacy. Woo! Thank you, Metatron. Thank you. Okay. New moon. For those of you that are using my Light Mastery map, or the Light Mastery map that I channeled from the heavens, you can download it from my website on the VIP portal. Just sign up for any of the free resources, and you can download it. Also, if you have it already, you'll know that and have been following me for a while, the heart chakra is our domain for the new moon. It is the domain for love, desire, values, worthiness, and the new one, I'm not using sacrifice anymore. I'm using acceptance. So, any of the growth moments, any of the inspired actions that you are going to be given, any of the inspired thoughts that you will be given, will be centered around that domain. They will be centered around things that we love, the love that we are using, the love that we are expressing, the love that we are receiving, the expectations that we have around that love. The conditions that we hold around that love. The judgments we place before allowing ourselves to receive love. Side note, wherever there's judgment, love does not exist. We will be shown inspired actions going to have inspired thoughts around that which we desire. Are our dreams, our vision for our future, is that heart-centered? Is that truly heart-centered and heart-aligned? The goals we have for our life, the way we want to show up in our life, the types of relationships that we desire for our life, are they heart-centered? The values that we hold, the value we place on things, on people, on ourselves, the worthiness that we feel, what we feel is worthy, and how much we accept the journey that we're on and accept that others are on their own journey. Now, I will say this, that accepting the journey that you're on is not staying stuck in the same struggle and strife. Accepting the journey is about allowing yourself to know that you are in this moment for a reason, and exploring with curiosity why it matters for your journey. It's not because just life is shitty. It's not because God somehow hates you because you did something like 30 years ago and he can't forgive you. No. God is not judgmental. God is love. God is unconditional love. So with that unconditional love, that energy that's flowing in through us always is helping us see things that aren't aligned with our heart space, that aren't aligned in a heart-centered way. And if that means that we need to see the muck so that we can heal from it, so that we could show up in our life in a different way that is more heart aligned, then that is what he will show us. That is what the higher power, the divine, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, higher energy, that is what we will be shown. And it may not be easy. It may not be easy to face. But know that you are cocooned in that love, and you have that love flowing through you through that entire process of doing this work, so that you can heal what you need to heal, because that same loving energy heals you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Every single time you allow yourself to release the old and heal. Every time you allow yourself to forgive yourself for holding on to that pain for so long. Every time you allow yourself to forgive your ancestors for not knowing how to do what you're being asked to do now. Every time you're asked to forgive those people that lashed out in their own reaction to their own pain and trauma and hurt you in some way. Forgiving them doesn't absolve them for the actions that they did. Forgiving them frees you so that you can move forward. It untethers you from that pain and trauma, that emotional attachment to the pain and trauma. It untethers you from that. So sending love and forgiveness to those people frees you so that you can move forward with less pain, less emotional turmoil, less struggle, less anger, less hatred. It gives you the freedom to be the person you are meant to be. It gives you the freedom to build a legacy for future generations, because when we hold on to that pain, when we hold on to that anger and the hatred, that energy gets passed on from generation to generation and gets people react to it. People do things, weird things like in reaction to the energy. And we are being asked to heal from it all so that we can truly build a legacy worth building, a legacy worth having on this earth. Okay. I talked more about than I was expecting. Okay. Let's get to the messages. You are building a legacy. Oh, thank you. Globally, we are choosing to leave the past behind, to let go of old burdens and heal whatever is revealed to us. So I know we think that this is only us, but this is a global scale. The energy is not just pinpointing Susie or Mary Beth or John or Zach. No. Globally, everyone is being asked to leave the past behind, let it go of old burdens, and heal whatever is revealed to us. And we are doing that for the most part. We are going through a great spiritual transformation globally as we alchemize generational wounds that our ancestors didn't know how to release and forgive. This is the great way of us changing our physical reality here on earth. Keep going. You will be given mental clarity as you do this work. Our future depends upon us being diligent and prudent as we release all of our old beliefs, all the old pain, all the old trauma, and all the old prejudices. The next stage is a heart-centered way of living where judgments can't exist. Love is the way forward. Love is the way forward. Love is the way forward. You know that resistance that I was talking about earlier in the video? And the judgments that I was talking about earlier in the video? When there's resistance and when there's judgment, sometimes there's both. Usually it's both. Usually the resistance is judgment in some way. It needs us to embrace love. It needs us to feel the love embrace us. It needs us to feel the love consume our body. Consume that space, a space bigger than the resistance, a space bigger than the judgment that we have. And so that we can work through what we need to work through. First message. As we continue to release the old, we will need to continue to face each experience and go deep within to know how each one is meant to help us potentially change our physical reality. So what does that mean? It means that every single experience that we are having is meant to help us change our physical reality. Sometimes and often it is forgiveness that we need to do, that we are being asked to do. Because if we have held on to this energy for generations and generations and generations, and you look at those generations and see the patterns of struggle, see the patterns of poverty, see the patterns of abuse, see the patterns of lower vibrational actions, lower vibrational beliefs, the patterns of not feeling worthy, not feeling loved, not feeling valued, not feeling accepted. Those are not heart-centered. When we allow ourselves to forgive, we heal our heart. So that we can be heart-centered. So that we can actually step in and show up in our life in a heart-centered way where we accept and love ourselves for who we are in this moment. We accept and love another for who they are in their moment, in their journey. When we are in a heart-centered space, we value what we are being shown, even though it may not be easy to see. We know that the values that we hold dear to us are heart-centered, in that living life with abundant love is a value that I have. Seeing abundant joy and abundance in my life is a value that I hold on to. But in order to see those things, in order to experience those things, I needed to allow myself to love and trust myself through this journey. I needed to do the forgiveness I was being asked to do. Even if I didn't understand the generational messages that I was receiving. For me, if it meant that I could physically change my reality and live life in a heart-centered way, a heart-aligned way, then I was willing to do what I needed to do in order to step into that freedom. I was willing to let go what I needed to let go in order to step into that freedom. That is facing your experiences so that you can change your physical reality, so that you can stop being triggered as much, so that you can stop being on this emotional roller coaster and allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to even out life. Number 2, You are building a worthy legacy as you allow yourself to let go of generational beliefs, trauma, and patterns that have kept you tethered and weighed down. You are freeing yourself and future generations with every release and healing. You are building a strong foundational future. Number 3, with every physical healing you do, by releasing old habits, beliefs, and pain, you are doing the work to break free of generational strongholds. You are releasing, transforming. We are physically transforming our lives so we can break free of the past. This may feel like our darkest moments for some. In these moments, go within as you cover yourself with love inside and out. No matter how fleeting a thought is, release the pain attached to that, release the belief, and choose a new way of living for this life and many lives attached to these same thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and patterns. I'm going to say this. When the energy is coming in from old energy, like generational past life energy that's flowing in for healing, it's coming up for healing. The thoughts that you get, the reactions that you have to different situations may not make sense. Because you may have in this life healed that stuff already, and all of a sudden it's come up. You find yourself reacting the way you used to react. And you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. It makes sense because it's old energy that never got healed. Because it's generational. And so when you allow yourself to heal this, so whatever thought or whatever feeling you have. So I've been in situations where I'm going to an event and all of a sudden my heart starts going and I start feeling fear. And I can feel my anxiety going up. And I'm like, this is silly. I'm just going to a picnic, or I'm just going to watch someone swim a few laps. Like, this is what's going on here. And so I start exploring as I'm walking with my family. I start exploring the thoughts that triggered some sort of fear or anxiety in my emotions. And I get told stuff like entering into a situation of uncertainty, not sure what you're going to see, not sure the people you're going to meet, not sure who's going to be there, how people will react to you, blah, 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 like all the stories. And even though I consciously know that it doesn't make sense in this life, it makes sense to the energy that's in me at the time. And so I allow myself to accept that I am in this moment for a reason. And I allow myself to release those beliefs, release those thoughts, release those fears, release that energy, not only for unresolved stuff that are related for this life, but all connected energy to those same thoughts, feelings, patterns, reactive patterns in other lives. So I can free those generations and free myself and free future generations that come in the future. You are building a worthy legacy. You are building a legacy with every action you take, with every inspired action you take, with every inspired thought that you have and that you face and allow yourself to take action on. You are building a legacy worth living. You are creating a life that you will love. Take care, everyone. Sending you much love.